Hey guys, this is Aaron Tyler Grant. I just wanted to show you 3 quick tips that I have been using on Ultimate Guitar, which is obviously the largest database of chord charts and tabs. If you have an iPad, I would strongly suggest getting the app for your iPad because there's a function that I don't think you can access on the website. If anybody knows a way to do it just from a computer on the website, let me know. The first tip is if you get it on your iPad, or iPhone, I guess. It's right up here in the upper right corner. It's this G icon. It says tabs. And down here in the lower right corner, I have it as well. If I click on that, usually it'll take you to this page right here. And this is the first thing I wanted to point out. This is like the top 100. If I click on this, it'll take you to the top 100 songs being looked at for today. And you'll notice Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley in the #1 spot. And if I click on all time, Hallelujah is still #1 by Jeff Buckley. Obviously, it's written by Leonard Cohen. Jeff Buckley, one of my favorite artists of all time. So that's the first tip, is this top 100 tab I find extremely useful for teaching students and stuff. Usually they're pretty good songs if they're up at the top of the list. The second feature I wanted to show is you got to watch out for the capo. If this says capo first fret, it means that they're playing in the key of C. So this would technically be in the key of C sharp or D flat. But one thing I wanted to show is in the key of C, it's a really good key to play on the piano or ukulele or any instrument that's suited towards the key of C. This is the key of C. These chords, for the most part, belong to the key of C, especially these first 4. C would be the 1 chord, F would be the 4 chord, so C, D minor, E minor, and then F is the 4 chord, the 4th chord. G is the 5th chord, and A minor is the 6th chord. This particular song has a 3 chord that's been turned into a dominant 7th chord, if you want to get into technical theory. I call this the 3 major or the 3 dominant 7. But if I go down, it has a strumming pattern that you can use, which I don't find that helpful, to be honest. The second feature I wanted to show you is up here in the upper right-hand corner, there's a function called transpose. Now, if you didn't want to play this in the key of C for some reason, then you can actually lower the key. So right now it's written in the key of C, but if I click down 1, it'll go to the key of B. So it's just going backwards in the alphabet, A sharp. And now if I go 1 more, I'm transposed down 3 keys. Now I'm in the key of A. If I go down 2 more, then I'll be in the key of G, which is a good key for the guitar. And this is actually the key that I believe Jeff Buckley plays it in, and he capos on the 5th fret. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But I think he capos on the 5th fret and plays it in the key of G, which sounds like the key of C. So a piano player would play it in the key of C, and Jeff would play it in the key of G, but capoed on the 5th fret, so it sounds like the key of C. Anyways, that's the second tip I wanted to show you, is this transpose function. It changes all of the chords in the song equally, so that's a really good function. Now, I can go back and reset this. So now it's back into the key of C. One of the most amazing things about this song, which Leonard Cohen brilliantly wrote, was in the second half of the first verse that Jeff sings. I don't think this is the first verse that Leonard sings, but in the second half it goes, well, it goes like this, the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall, and the major lift. What he's talking about here, Leonard Cohen, is in the key of C, the 4th chord would be an F chord, and the 5th chord would be a G chord. So basically, you've got the key of C. The D would be actually a D minor chord, and the E would be an E minor chord. So F is the 4 chord, G is the 5 chord, and A minor is actually the 6 chord, but it's a minor chord, so he says the minor fall, and the major lift, this is an F major chord. So I just wanted to point that out, just in case anyone didn't know what he was talking about in that verse. Brilliantly written song. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you the third tip. I'm going to go back to this page right here. If you notice down at the bottom it says Tools. I'm going to click on that. And this is one of the most amazing features that I've seen so far. One of my students, Dashiell, showed me this. You got a tuner up here and a metronome if you're interested in using those. But this one, progressions, if I click on that, it takes you to a list where they've compiled all these different collections of songs using the same chords. So in the first one, these are really common chords, especially on the guitar. This would actually be in the key of G, not the key of D. So G would be the 1 chord, C would be the 4 chord, and D would be the 5 chord. But there's 175,000 songs all using just these 3 chords. If I click on this, you'll notice that, like Chasing Cars, Leaving on a Jet Plane, Three Little Birds, you can play these songs using 3 chords. It might not sound like the song, like in this case, Chasing Cars, it actually uses a D/F sharp chord, which is slightly different, but you can get away with playing a D chord in that song, and you'll roughly hear the song. Now, most of these songs, they're in actually different keys because of guitar players using capos and stuff. So you might not be able to play along to the actual recording, but it will kind of get you in the zone of the song, and you can play it alone using these chords. A lot of the chord charts on this ultimateguitar.com website, a lot of them are wrong because they're just user submissions, but it'll get you in the general zone of the song. Now, if I go back, the second one, D-A-G, actually is in the key of D, D being the 1 chord, G being the 4 chord, and A being the 5 chord. So there's 140,000 more songs you could play just using those 3 chords. The third one down here is in the key of C, which we discussed in Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley, Leonard Cohen. Now, that's a good key for piano and ukulele, but this fourth one down, this is a good key for the guitar because it still has no bar chords in it if you're trying to stay away from bar chords. Now, if you notice, this key is the exact same chords as the first one. So the first one, you got 175,000 possible songs, and if you just add one more chord, you got another 111,000, so that's like 300,000 songs that you could play just using these 4 chords. You're not going to recognize all of the songs, obviously, but if you go to the top of this list, you'll see like Riptide, I'm Yours, Let It Be. I would recommend playing Let It Be, especially on the piano. It's actually supposed to be in the key of C, so I don't know why it's in this list. But anyways, those are 3 tips that I just wanted to share with you, and I've found incredibly valuable. I hope you liked these. Subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and hope you guys have a great holidays. Talk to you soon.